are the top stories of the news. Protesters returned to National Assembly demanding real-time electronic transmission of election results. Nigerian army repels ISWAP Boko Haram attacks in Borno State. On the foreign scene, Iran's foreign minister to meet UN nuclear watchdog chief ahead of U.S. talks in Geneva. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Temitope Ajidolaoluwaola. Protesters returned to the National Assembly this morning, demanding the real-time electronic transmission of election results be made mandatory in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026. Demonstrators, including civil society groups like Situation Room and Action Aid, insisted that manual collation be completely eliminated to prevent manipulation during the collation of results. The protest comes after a 5-day break from the National Assembly following assurances from the last Tuesday sit-in. Security operatives reportedly barricaded the entrances to the complex, forcing the crowd to host their demonstration outside the gates. The demonstrators insisted on full transparency and mandatory real-time e-transmission, arguing that there is no justification for manual backups since the election budget already covers technological requirements. The Senate is scheduled to reconvene on tomorrow to make further decisions on national issues. However, the protesters vowed to continue pressing lawmakers until full real-time transmission is guaranteed.
They're different. Senate version, they're different. The version where we want, now the one we carry mandatory real-time electronic transmission of committee members, Simon Lalong, Bayo Balogun, all of you, may God use you, allow God use you, do the right thing, no rigging, no rigging, no rigging, we no go green, our mandate, it must stand, Nigeria must work, pass the bill, so by tomorrow, all of them go come back. By tomorrow, they go come back. They go see meet us here. This Nigeria now our own. Make nobody threaten anybody. Who they fear free and fair election? Our vote must count. We must choose our leaders. No transmission. No real time. My name is Peter for Nigeria. The way I love you. Pass the bill. Committee members. Pass the bill. Simon Lalong. Pass the bill. Bayo Balogun. Pass the bill. All of you. You must pass the bill. My vote must count. My vote must count. My vote must count. Your vote must count.
In the meantime, the Senate has said empirical data guided its decision to make the electronic transmission of election results discretionary rather than mandatory in the ongoing reform of Nigeria's electoral governance framework. The chamber added that the decision was based on the stark realities of the country and not on emotions or sentiment after due consultation and engagement with principal actors in the country's communications and power sectors, among others. Leader of the Senate, Senator Okweyemi Bamidele, clarifies the position of the upper chamber through his Directorate of Media and Public Affairs on Sunday. Clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Bill 2026 stipulates the presiding officer electronically transmits the results from each polling unit to INEC result viewing portal in real time. In a statement on Sunday, Bamidele observed that the clause is an initiative that the legislature will have embraced ordinarily, but noted that the Senate looked at other sides of the clause, revealing that the country's communication and power infrastructure would not guarantee the real-time electronic transmission. The clause had generated controversy and sparked a demonstration by some Nigerians, including opposition leaders like a former presidential candidate, Peter Obi, and a former Rivers State Governor, Rotimi Amechi. And still with politics, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, has assured his supporters of his readiness to contest in the 2027 elections. He spoke in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State at the Obedient Conference, an official declaration for the African Democratic Congress, ADC, with the theme Activating the Pure Effect in ADC. Obi urged Nigerians to join hands with him to rescue Nigeria for the future generations, who, according to him, will suffer the consequences of bad governance going on in the country for decades. He alleged that he had in good authority that the federal government does not want him to contest, insisting that he will come out even if the elections were held figuratively in their bedroom. The former Anambra governor stated that the current administration had collected more loans than every other administration, adding that most of the loans would be repaid from 2045 to 2050, when most of the people who plunged the country into indebtedness must have gone. On why he left the Labour Party, Mr. Obi said he left when he was informed that as long as he remains in the party, INEC will not recognize its leadership and the federal government does not want him on the ballot paper.
They want to destroy everybody because you don't know the candidate. Why are you scared? Why are you scared? They are coming. They are more than half the system. They are everything. Why are you scared? Go on now. Let's go back to the conversation. If you don't know today, the federal government of Nigeria does not want me, Peter Obi, to be a candidate of any party. But I'll be candidate. That the chairman is no longer chairman. Within the 7 months, God gave judgment affirming the head of the chairman because Peter Obi is gone. Because Peter Obi is gone. And that's what they are doing everywhere. They want to destroy everybody because Peter Obi is not the candidate. Why are you?
And now to security matters. Troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Hadin-K have repelled coordinated attacks by suspected Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters in Polka and Madara Giro communities of Borno State. According to a statement issued this morning by the Media Information Officer of Operation Hadin-K, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, the attacks occurred late on Saturday when insurgents attempted to overrun military positions in the two locations. The military said terrorists advancing from the Sambisa forest axis launched an assault on troops of Sector 1 and Polka, with the troops engaging them in what was described as an intense firefight, successfully containing and reversing the attack. The statement noted that although a section of the defensive perimeter was briefly breached, leading to the destruction of some combat equipment and accommodation facilities, swift reinforcement by troops of 26th Brigade forced the insurgents to retreat towards the Sambisa axis. The military added that there were no casualties among troops during the Polka engagement. In a related development, troops of Sector 2 at Madara Giro reportedly came under a coordinated, multi-pronged attack by ISWAP fighters mounted on gun trucks and motorcycles. He added that troops had tactically positioned combat teams in anticipation of such assaults and successfully repulsed the attackers after a fierce exchange of gunfire. In Kwara State, suspected bandits have attacked Kakafo community, a remote settlement in the Patigi local government area of the state, kidnapping 4 persons. The attackers kidnapped 4 residents, including 1 man, a woman, and her 2 female children during the operation that occurred at about 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, a situation that threw the community into confusion. According to information available, the assailants on arrival opened sporadic gunshots into the air, thereby causing panic among residents who scampered for safety. The spokesperson for the Kwara State Police Command, Adeton Ejira JME, promised to get across as soon as she receives official information about the incident. Kwara has been experiencing a series of attacks by gunmen who wreak havoc, kill people at will, and kidnap others for ransom. On February 3, gunmen suspected to be terrorists killed 170 people in an overnight attack on 2 villages in the Kayama area of the state. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to lead a high-powered federal government delegation to Kano State to express sympathy and support for victims of the single market fire disaster. The delegation, scheduled to depart Abuja later today, will convey the president's condolences to traders who reportedly lost billions of naira in the weekend fire that engulfed the market, the second such incident in 2 weeks. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga disclosed this in a statement issued on Sunday. According to him, the delegation will also pledge, on behalf of the federal government, financial assistance to support the victims and assist the states in facilitating the swift reopening of the market. Members of the delegation include the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, Deputy Senate President Barao Jibrin, Senator Kawu Ismaila, and Abubakar Kabir Bichi, Chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations. The fire, which started on Saturday evening and continued into Sunday morning, caused extensive damage at Single Market, described as Nigeria's largest food market. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.